So what is a biblical view when it comes to building a team? Oftentimes when God gives you a vision, He doesn't ask you to build it on your own. He asks you to bring others with you. But a lot of times we stay stuck in doer mode and we're constantly carrying the weight of a vision that we were never meant to carry because we're supposed to bring the people with us to help us build this vision. But how? What if you have no money? What if you're new? What if you're just getting started? What if you've been doing it yourself for years and you just have a way of doing things and every time you've tried to bring someone along, they just slowed you down? That's what we're going to cover in this video. In fact, you're going to get an actual shot of what it looks like as I'm coaching our Spirit-Driven Success Network and I'm sharing some biblical perspective on what it means to build team. But in order to understand these 7 principles I'm going to cover in this video, I first open up with the 4 roles because you must understand what God has gifted you with, because there's 4 different layers within a vision. And if you don't understand where you fall, then oftentimes you could be trying to be in a role that God never called you to, and that's where entrepreneurs or other roles may see themselves struggling. So how do you know which one you are? Let's dive in and take a look. There are 4 essential roles to make any vision come to life. Every vision thrives when these 4 roles are filled. The first role is the visioneer. The visioneer is you if you're the one to organize, ignite, and execute the vision of the plan. This is typically the CEO personality type. They're the visionaries. They're the ones with the ideas. They can organize the idea, execute the idea, rally the troops, get everyone excited about where things are going, right? That's the visioneer. Then there's the integrator. This is the one who implements the tools and the systems to make the ideas of the visionary function seamlessly. Some of you are the visioneer. Some of you are the integrator on this call. One is not more important than the other, but they coexist and they need each other. So part of self-awareness is knowing where you're at. And I'm going to go over some of these other rules. But if you're a visioneer on the call, that means that you're going to need an integrator, because if you don't have the integrator, then that means that you're going to be trying to create all of these pieces on your own, and the tech is going to overwhelm you. The systems are going to overwhelm you. All of these moving parts that were never meant for you to carry are going to overwhelm you. And so I know I am not an integrator. The moment I get in front of a coding and systems and tech, I get overwhelmed so fast. In fact, to this day, I built many companies. I still don't know how to code. I don't know HTML. I don't know how to send out an email in mass to my audience. And the reason why is because if I get into those areas of integration, I'm stepping into a role that moves me away from who I was created to be as the visionary. If you're the integrator, one of the biggest mistakes that integrators make is they try to be the visioneer. They try to be the one who has the visions, and they often are great system builders, but they struggle to organize and ignite the vision for other people to follow because they're the integrator. There's the marketer, the voice that spreads the word and builds excitement. This is the person who is full of energy. They're always championing everything, but they're kind of like, they step on the gas and it's a lot of exhaust, right? Meaning that the faster they move, the more of a mess they create for the integrators and admin, right? They're constantly promoting and campaigning to be able to make noise and bring awareness and grow the influence and get the campaign and the message out, and they're evangelizing the message. And then there's admin, the organizer who supports, who ensures the details and tasks are being taken care of from the mess that the visionaries and marketers are creating. Admin is just as important as marketer and just as important as integrator and just as important as visioneer. But you have to know, are you a 1, a 2, or 3, or 4? Because there is a chance you could be all 4 things. And that would be amazing if you're all 4 things. But the reality is most of us have a little bit of everything, but we have an order of our strengths. And so once you're aware, then you could be able to partner with visionaries, or you can be the visionary.
but it's important to know where you thrive.
Okay, so now we're gonna go over the 7 areas that hold people back from building a team. It might be money, it might be resources, it might be limiting beliefs, it might not be I'm not ready yet. It might be that I've tried, but people have quit on me, and I've tried building teams, but people never stick. It ends up taking longer. We're going to address all those, and I want to share some biblical perspectives along the way that have helped me, because for 5 to 6 years of my journey, it was just me. God had to reveal to me how to be able to lead people in wisdom so that we can be able to have a healthy culture, a culture that reflects kingdom values, kingdom perspectives, so that we can have success within the organization, experience increase. So we're going to dive in to the 7 areas that may be holding you back, and hopefully we can unlock the next area for you so that you can get closer to building that God vision.
Sometimes your vision might feel like you are too small to involve others, or your vision might feel too small to involve others. So you might be at a beginning stage and you're thinking, well, I'm still too new to be able to have team. I'm still too new to have others join me because I don't have maybe enough money coming in, or my vision isn't mature enough yet, or I got to wait till I get to a certain place before I'm ready to lead people. What if I shared with you that my mindset is, as a one, I wouldn't even build a vision without bringing others and having others involved? I was building out a team, and I was building out a marketing team, and I allowed the marketing team I was building to have sales reps that they were the managers of. And any sales that those sales reps made, the manager would receive a percentage from all their sales for being their trainer and overriding them as a common broker real estate type of model. As a broker has agents, and those agents sell homes, the broker gets a percentage of all the homes that the realtors sell, right? So as I went around the room with my marketing team, only one girl decided to build a team. And so I went one by one. What has held you back from building a team? First girl says, I wanted to become successful first, so that way I can then share it with others. Next person, why didn't you build a team? Well, I just wanted to try it myself first before telling others about it. Next person, what has held you back from building a team? I just want to become successful so that I can tell others about it. Fourth person, the one who built the team. What allowed you to build a team while everyone else was waiting? She said, I wouldn't even do this if I didn't have the opportunity to build a team. Her standard was here. She wouldn't even go after vision without a team because she understood something. It's easier to build something with a team than to do it on your own. Now you might be thinking, well, I don't have the resources to do that. How do you do that if you have no money? Or how do you do that if, you're just starting out? We'll talk about that in a moment. Maybe you don't see the need for collaboration, or you feel unprepared. You're not really sure what somebody would do if they were to partner with you. You might feel unprepared, like you're not sure how to lead them. You might doubt your ability to lead effectively. If I did have people join me, what would cause them to stay? Why would they stay? And I want you to know that leadership is a skill set, if you're a one, that is necessary to step into to make the vision come to life. And so if you are struggling to lead others when they come along, that's why they say you're going to build 3 teams. The first team, you often struggle to pay people what their time is worth because you have little resources. And then you don't have the emotional maturity and experience yet to know how to build leaders and inspire loyalty and create culture. And so people start with you, but they don't finish with you. But you learn and gain the experience, and then the next team comes around. You're able to make a little bit more. You're having more experience. You're learning how to build team a little bit more. They stay with you for a little bit of time, but eventually they want bigger opportunities. So then they move on to the next thing. Then your third team comes around where you now have the resources, you know who you're compatible with, you know what to look for, you know how to lead, you know how to cast vision, create culture, and now you can build with a team that can stay sometimes with you for a lifetime. So rather than not try because you don't know if you can lead effectively, try to lead effectively and then let the experience shine light on where you can grow in your relationships to lead others better. You might worry that others may not want to follow you because you haven't built anything yet. Why would they say yes? Here is why. Because number fours and number twos are smart. They understand that their gifts also have to mature with somebody. And they're in the newer phases wondering the same thing. Why would a number one want to work with someone like me? Because they also need to develop their skill set of admin and integrations. And so in the beginning, you're thinking, why would somebody want to follow you? And somebody's thinking, why would somebody want to hire me? It's because you're not going to get a talent often when you first begin. You're going to often have to find somebody who's willing, doesn't have all the skill sets yet, and you're going to invest into them to help guide them on how to learn admin or how to learn integration. And so your job is to find someone who has the right heart posture that you have, that has the same level of integrity that you have, that has the same level of will and desire that you have to grow, and that's coachable, so that you could say, hey, this week, I want you to learn how to use this tool. And when you're done, I want you to report back to me when you've got that figured out. Hey, this week, this is our objective. I want you to do this. And over the time, as you begin to invest in them, you develop a skill set in them and you begin to grow together. They get experience, you get experience, and together you begin to move faster and accomplish more together. And now you're both growing, which creates a win-win. We've talked a little bit about this one. Past experience may have you hesitant to lead. I'll tell you what, people will quit on you and they will let you down. You have to start leadership knowing that to begin with. You cannot go into leadership thinking that it won't happen. It's guaranteed to happen, okay? The average leader actually, or the average pastor, believe it or not, which is one of the most, a good pastor has healthy environments. The average pastor loses 5 meaningful relationships a year. Think about that for a second. So Jesus himself was a man to have never fallen before. Even Judas betrayed Jesus. It happens to everybody. If it happened to Jesus, it's going to happen to you. Are you with me?
I think it's also important to note that people grow and people outgrow people, not in a bad way, but in good ways sometimes. Sometimes there have been people who have grown, like we've raised up in leadership and they're ready to go and do, even bigger, better things. And we wish them well. And so I think it's important to note that that's a part of business, of working together, of doing life together, is that we are there to uplift one another. And when it's time for them to fly and whatever God has for them, that shouldn't be something to offend us, but to
Yeah.
say, hey, we played a role here in this part of their life. And now we want to bless you with where God is taking you. So I think that's
Yeah.
good.
It goes both ways. Yeah. Sometimes it's that conversation, and sometimes you keep growing and growing and growing with somebody for years. Anthony, he's been a teammate of mine for 7 years. Started out as our videographer, then went into social media management, and then went into writing our sales copy. Now he's the head of our sales department of our entire sales team. Right. And so we're building together for life. Like this is our intention. We keep saying it. 7 years, almost as long as I've been married, right? So you'll find people that you love to build with. I always tell Suzanne, I hope you're stuck with me for life, but we'll see. Hopefully I do a great job. Hopefully I do a great job for us. But you meet really special people. like a Suzanne or like an Anthony that you work really well with and you want to build for a long time, but it's taken me years to be able to find someone like a Suzanne, right? So you don't know, like, and that comes through saying yes. It starts with a yes and being willing, right? Now, this is a big one here. The big question, the $1 million question. You lack the necessary resources. How am I going to pay these people? I'm going to share some with you. I never want you to forget it. He is the source. Your business is the resource. He is the source. Your business is the resource. When God gives you a vision, the same way he gave Moses the vision, when Moses didn't feel he was qualified, he will bring the leaders around you to help you get that vision to come to pass. And you're not going to have the necessary resources like money to pay people what their time is worth in the beginning. But money is only one resource. The other resources is the opportunity to give people an experience, to allow people to connect to purpose, to allow people to grow in their gifting, to allow people to have delayed gratification, meaning that you might have something special set aside as the vision grows that you're willing to give them for starting with you. The skill set here is being able to cast a vision of where you're going, because people don't mind a little bit of delayed gratification. And in exchange, they get to step into a greater purpose. And that's why it's important to be clear of your mission, because people aren't just saying yes to you, they're saying yes to the mission. So being able to cast that vision. So in the beginning, I didn't have any resources, but I had a team of 10 interns. That's how I started the coaching business. And so I had somebody who built funnels, and I had somebody who can write emails, and I had a bunch of people that didn't even know what I was going to do, but they started inviting their friends because they all wanted to be a part of the vision of this startup. And Brianna and I, we would meet at the beach, and we would get the flip pad, and we would have our meetings at the beach because it was free office space. And we would take everybody out for pizza and sodas. And I would tell everybody, I would say, look, I can't pay you. Before they would even start on our team, I can't pay you, but here's what I will do. I'll feed you, and we'll build something really special together, and we'll have office meetings at the beach. And one day I will be able to pay you, and I'll make sure that you guys are paid very well. And that's how we began. That was team number one. I didn't know what I was doing. Right? So we did our best. We did our best. And a lot of those went on to become incredible people in this space. Incredible what they've been able to accomplish since we started at a time where everyone was young. We were all in our early 20s trying to figure this thing out, right? Now, you might not be in your 20s, you might be in your 40s going, there's no one my age who would want to try to do something, right? But doesn't mean you can't have people that are in their youth be a part of a vision, because people in their youth want to also be a part of a vision that's growing as well and follow more mature leadership. You may be reluctant to take on the responsibility of leadership. And this is the thing that hurts my heart when I hear a number one or a number three. They don't want to grow with people because they don't want their responsibility. To me, it's the exact opposite. It's irresponsible to build a vision by yourself, because a vision is not meant to come to its fullness without people. When people talk about, I run a business, what you're saying is, I run a vision of people. I have people that I'm leading. So it is irresponsible to take the responsibility. But I didn't always think that way. For the first 5, 6, 7 years, I refused to hire full-time staff. I would only hire part-time. My teams were always part-time because I try to always minimize my responsibilities, never bringing on full salaries. And the reason why is I was afraid. And in 2000 and I want to say 16, I brought on my first full-time salary person. Gave her company car, company housing, paid vacations, salaries, bonuses. And our company grew from 500,000 to over 1 million, having the right person. And I learned a lesson that our scarcity, when we operate out of scarcity, we slow down the progress of seeing vision come to life. And so if you're on here and you're a 1 in 3 and you've been reluctant because of responsibility, let's change that thought to it's irresponsible to build vision without people, because we need the help of others.
So now you got a glimpse of what it looks like to be inside of our Spirit-Driven Success community. And if you want to be able to get access to that, I'm going to put a link in the description below. It's just $1 trial to join, and then $27 a month if you want to stay with us. And it's all about being able to help you unlock the biblical success principles to go to the next level of your vision. Because oftentimes when you learn from the world will teach you the principles, but they take out the prince. But the prince is where the power is. So if you want to be able to get access to our entire vault of trainings and be able to go live with us on Zoom once a month and be in our Telegram community where we continue to pray for more increase for your vision and your business, then I want to be able to invite you in. I think it would be super cool to have you join us there. And that link is in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope this helped you increase today.